Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Babu and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive to begin from 16th January. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews preparedness for vaccination. President Ramnath Kovind says development of 2 Indian COVID vaccines is a major achievement for Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 96.41%. A passenger plane with over 50 people on board crashes soon after takeoff from Indonesian capital Jakarta. Indian sailors stuck on ship MV Jag Anand in China to return home on 14th January. And in cricket, Australia take lead of 197 runs against India in the Sydney Test. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news. The vaccination drive for COVID-19 will kick off on 16th January in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today chaired a high-level meeting to review the status of COVID-19 in the country along with the preparedness for COVID vaccination. The meeting was attended by the Cabinet Secretary, the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, the Health Secretary and other senior officials. The Prime Minister took a detailed and comprehensive review of the status of COVID management covering various issues. Emergency use authorization or accelerated approval has been granted by the national regulator for 2 vaccines, Covishield and Covaxin, which have established safety and immunogenicity. The Prime Minister was also briefed about the preparedness status of the centre in close collaboration with the state and UT governments for rollout of the vaccine. The vaccination exercise is underpinned by the principles of people's participation, utilizing experience of elections and universal immunization program. The Prime Minister was also apprised about the COVID vaccine delivery management system. More than 79 lakh beneficiaries have been already registered on the platform. Our correspondent tells us more about the rollout of the vaccine.
The rollout of the vaccine will provide priority to the healthcare workers and the frontline workers who are estimated to be around 3 crores. They will be followed by those above 50 years of age and the under 50 population groups with comorbidities numbering around 27 crore. The training process of vaccinators and vaccine administrators was also detailed out during today's meeting. A total of 2,360 participants were trained during national level training of trainers, which comprised state immunization officers, cold chain officers, IEC officials and development partners. More than 61,000 program managers, 2 lakh vaccinators and 3.7 lakh other vaccination team members have been trained so far as part of trainings at states, districts and block levels. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, IR News, Delhi.
President Ramnath Kovind has said India has been at the forefront in forging a global response to combat the enormous challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. President Kovind was delivering the valedictory address of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention 2021 today. He said development of 2 Indian COVID vaccines is a major achievement for the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, driven by the spirit of global well-being.
We supplied medicines to nearly 150 countries, making the world look at India as the pharmacy of the world. The recent success of our scientists and technicians in developing 2 COVID vaccines is a matter of achievement for the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, which is driven by the spirit of global well-being. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to severe travel disruptions. I appreciate the role played by the Ministry of External Affairs and our missions abroad for reaching out to the diaspora by facilitating their travel in these difficult times.
Mr. Kovind said that in response to the pandemic, members of the Indian diaspora in several countries came together in ensuring critical medical supplies, helping stranded students, caring for the elderly, raising funds and providing meals to the vulnerable. The President highlighted that India has one of the largest diaspora populations of nearly 30 million residing in every corner of the world today.
It has been aptly put that the sun never sets on the Indian diaspora. Known as the model minority, diaspora Indians have an impressive presence in the fields of science and technology, especially ICT and medicine, entrepreneurship, trade and commerce, academics, art, literature and sports. Some of you have reached leadership positions in administration and politics. You have spread the soft power of India and made your mark on the global stage. Your continued emotional attachment to India, its culture and traditions makes all of us very proud of you.
Mr. Kovind said that the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is also an occasion to recall Mahatma Gandhi's ideals for individual and collective life.
On this very day, in the year 1915, Mahatma Gandhi, the greatest Pravasi Bharatiya, returned to India. The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is also an occasion to recall Gandhiji's ideals for individual and collective life. Gandhiji's emphasis on Indianness, non-violence, ethics, simplicity and sustainable development remain our guiding principles.
The President said the nation is indebted to Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee, whose vision re-energized the links with the diaspora.
The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas celebrations started in 2003 when he was the Prime Minister of India. Atalji's initiatives have proved immensely helpful in strengthening the engagement of diaspora with the motherland. He also took the decision to set up a Pravasi Bharatiya Kendra, which would become the focal point for linking the overseas Indian community with their country of origin. It is appropriate that the Pravasi Bharatiya Kendra has been renamed as Sushma Swaraj Bhavan as a mark of tribute to Sushmaji's invaluable contribution to the cause of Indian diaspora. Her compassion and affection touched a large number of Indians abroad.
The President conveyed his congratulations to all the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman awardees and appreciated their efforts to promote better understanding of India abroad. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today sent his greetings on the occasion of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said, NRIs carry the fragrance of this ancient land to faraway places and with their hard work enhance India's reputation overseas. The Vice President said they bring new ideas, good practices and investments, thus contributing significantly to India's growth in multiple ways. He expressed the hope that they will prosper in all their endeavours.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India is ready to protect humanity with 2 made-in-India COVID-19 vaccines. The products and solutions made in India will benefit the entire world. He was addressing the 16th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention through virtual mode today. Mr. Modi said in the past years, non-resident Indians have strengthened their identity by showing their commitment for the betterment of society.
बीता साल हम सभी के लिए बहुत चुनौतियों का साल रहा है, लेकिन इन चुनौतियों के बीच विश्व भर में फैले हमारे इंडियन डायस्पोरा ने जिस तरह कार्य किया है, अपना कर्तव्य निभाया है, वो भारत के लिए भी गर्व की बात है। यही तो हमारी परंपरा है, यही तो इस मिट्टी के संस्कार है। इस जगह से सोशल और पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप के लिए दुनिया भर में भारतीय मूल के साथियों पर भरोसा और मजबूत हो रहा है।
The Prime Minister said today India is using technology to defeat corruption and lakhs and crores of rupees are being directly transferred to beneficiaries' bank accounts. He said today India's space program and tech startup ecosystem is a leader in the global sphere. Mr. Modi said even during COVID, several new unicorns and tech startups started from India.
आज की सच्चाई यही है कि भारत एकजुट भी है और दुनिया में डेमोक्रेसी अगर सबसे मजबूत है, वाइब्रेंट है, जीवंत है, तो वो भारत ही है। आजादी के बाद ही दशकों तक ये नैरेटिव भी चला कि भारत गरीब अशिक्षित है, इसलिए साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी में इन्वेस्टमेंट की संभावनाएं कम आती गई। आज भारत का स्पेस प्रोग्राम हमारा टेक स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम दुनिया में अग्रणी है। कोविड की चुनौती के साल में भी कई नए यूनिकॉर्न्स और सैकड़ों नए टेक स्टार्टअप्स भारत से ही निकल करके आए हैं।
The Prime Minister said when the country is working towards building Atmanirbhar Bharat, NRIs will play an essential role in strengthening brand India.
आज जब भारत आत्मनिर्भर बनने के लिए आगे बढ़ रहा है, तो यहाँ भी ब्रांड इंडिया की पहचान को मजबूत बनाने में आपका रोल अहम है। जब आप मेड इन इंडिया प्रोडक्ट्स का ज्यादा से ज्यादा यूज करेंगे, तो आपके इर्द गिर्द रहने वालों में भी इनको लेकर विश्वास बढ़ेगा। इससे आप भारत के एक्सपोर्ट का वॉल्यूम तो बढ़ाएंगे ही, साथ ही भारत की रीच डायवर्सिटी को भी दुनिया तक पहुंचाएंगे।
Mr. Modi said the new systems developed in India have been praised by global institutions. He said India's campaign to strengthen the poorest of the poor by modern technology is being discussed in every nook and corner of the world. He said during this COVID pandemic, India is amongst the countries with the lowest mortalities and highest recovery rates in the world. He said the country's pharma sector has shown that India's ability in any sector benefits the entire world. The chief guest of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention, President of Suriname, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, said Suriname shares a deep bond with India and both the countries have managed to maintain their heritage, culture and customs. He said the two countries should increase their business to strengthen the bond. The President said India and Suriname have bonded on many levels, historically, religiously and culturally. Our Beijing correspondent spoke to an Indian diaspora settled in China who virtually participated in the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas.
आज सभी भारतवासियों को हमारे 16 प्रवासी दिन भारतीय का शुभकामनाएं। We are in Shanghai, China, and we are part of the small diaspora, Indian diaspora here, who demonstrate Indian values, and we have been very successful here and support always India across the country.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive to begin from 16th of January. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews preparedness for vaccination. President Ramnath Kovind says development of 2 Indian COVID vaccines is a major achievement for Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 96.41%. A passenger plane with over 50 people on board crashes soon after takeoff from Indonesian capital Jakarta. Indian sailors stuck on ship MV Jug Anand in China to return home on the 14th of January. And in cricket, Australia take lead of 197 runs against India in the Sydney Test. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
All India Radio presents World News. News and views from across the globe. What happened and what is up next? The newsmakers and the highlights of the day. From 10:30 to 11 p.m. every night on 100.1 FM All India Radio.
The cumulative COVID-19 testing in the country has crossed the 18 crore mark today. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.41%. During the last 24 hours, more than 9,16,000 samples were tested and more than 19,000 patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said during the last 24 hours, the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 1,56,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 2.15% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 2,24,000. During the past 24 hours, 18,222 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1 crore 4 lakh. In Puducherry, COVID-19 recovery rate is showing an upward trend. 51 infected people were discharged from hospitals today after recovery, while 36 people tested positive. More from our Puducherry correspondent.
The Health Department statistics released today revealed that out of 36 new cases, 23 cases reported from Puducherry, 4 cases from Karikal, 1 case from Yanam and 8 cases from Mahe region. No deaths reported in all the 4 regions of the Union Territory. Of the total 328 cases, 162 cases are being treated in the hospitals and another 166 cases are under home isolation. Of the 38,425 positive cases so far, 37,461 cases cured and discharged with a total of 636 deaths. Now the recovery rate stands at 97.49% and the fatality rate is stable at 1.66% in Puducherry. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
In Tripura, 5 people have tested positive for COVID-19, while 2 infected people have recovered in the past 24 hours. With this, the number of active COVID-19 cases has reached 57 in the state. The recovery rate is at 98.66%. In Jammu and Kashmir, after a decline in the number of COVID-19 cases, 2 cases of new UK COVID-19 strain were found in Kashmir division of the Union Territory today. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the nodal officer for COVID-19 at JLNM Hospital confirmed this. They are residents of Habak and Sora areas of the Srinagar city, and both the patients are travellers. They have been admitted to JLNM Hospital.
The Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has issued advisory to the avian influenza affected states so as to avoid further spread of the disease. So far, the disease has been confirmed from 7 states: Kerala, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. The Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying in a statement said that reports of unusual mortality of birds have been received from the state of Chhattisgarh in poultry and wild birds in Balod district. The state has constituted rapid response teams for emergency situation and also sent the samples to the designated laboratory. Further reports of unusual mortality in ducks has been received from Sanjay Lake, Delhi. Samples have been sent to the designated laboratory for testing. Besides, samples of dead crows have also been sent to NIHSAD from Mumbai, Thane, Dapoli, Parbhani and Beed districts of Maharashtra for confirmation of the disease. Meanwhile, culling operations have been completed in both the affected districts of Kerala, and post-operational surveillance program guidelines have been issued to the state. Central teams deployed to visit the affected states of Kerala, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh for monitoring and for epidemiological investigation have reached Kerala. In a communication, Secretary Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying has requested the state animal husbandry departments to ensure effective communication and coordination with health authorities for close vigilance of the disease status. Besides increasing surveillance around water bodies, live bird markets, zoos and poultry farms, proper disposal of carcasses and strengthening of biosecurity in poultry farms have to be ensured. States are also requested to be prepared for any eventuality of avian influenza and to ensure sufficient stock of PPE kits and accessories required for culling operations. The death of birds continues in Rajasthan due to the bird flu. Today, 356 birds are reported to have been found dead in 27 districts. More from our Jaipur correspondent.
Since December 25th, more than 2,500 birds have died in the state. Most of them are crows, but peacocks and some other birds have also died. The Animal Husbandry Department has sent 219 samples from 21 districts for investigation so far, out of which H5N8 virus has been confirmed in 45 samples of 11 districts. Director of Animal Husbandry Department, Dr. Virendra Singh, told that the virus has not yet spread in poultry. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Shipping Minister Mansukh Mandviya has said that Indian sailors stuck in China are coming back on the 14th of January. In a tweet, Mr. Mandavia said the ship MV Jaganand, having 23 Indian crew, is set to sail towards Chiba, Japan, to carry out crew change and will reach India on the 14th of January. He said this could only happen due to strong leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mr. Mandavia appreciated the humanitarian approach of the Great Eastern Shipping Company towards the seafarers and standing by them in this crucial time. A passenger plane of Indonesia's Sri Vijaya Air carrying more than 50 people on board crashed into the waters of Jakarta today. A statement released by the Sri Vijaya Air said the Boeing 737-500 was on an estimated 90-minute flight from Jakarta to Pontianak, capital of West Kalimantan province on Indonesia's Borneo Island. Captain Eko Suryahadi, commander of Trisula Coast Guard ship, said human body parts and debris of the plane were found. Spokesman of Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Office, Yusuf Latif, said rescue teams were heading to the scene after receiving information. The plane is not a 737 MAX, the Boeing model involved in two major crashes in recent years.
U.S. President Donald Trump has been permanently suspended from social network app Twitter due to the risk of further incitement of violence. In a statement, Twitter said the decision was made after a close review of the recent tweets from Donald Trump's account. The social media platform also deleted the new tweets posted by Trump, an official government account at POTUS. Hundreds of Trump supporters entered the U.S. Capitol as the U.S. Congress attempted to certify Joe Biden's victory in the presidential election. The ensuing violence led to the death of 4 civilians and a police officer. Meanwhile, the Democrats have planned to introduce an article of impeachment against President Donald Trump for his role in Wednesday's invasion of the U.S. Capitol. The White House dismissed the impeachment as a politically motivated move that would only serve to further divide the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on the 31st of this month. It will be the 73rd episode of the monthly radio program. People can share their views in the Namo app or MyGov open forum. They can also dial the toll-free number 1-800-11-7800 and record their message for the Prime Minister in either Hindi or English. People can also give a missed call on 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions to the Prime Minister.
The CBI has registered a case against a private company based in Hyderabad and others, including its chairman and managing director, on the allegation of causing a loss of more than 4,736 crore rupees. The agency has registered the case on a complaint from the State Bank of India and other banks. It was alleged that the accused, in connivance with unknown public servants and others, defrauded the consortium of banks. BJP National President J.P. Nadda today criticized the TMC government in West Bengal for not implementing PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme and said that their party will carry on the welfare scheme. While addressing a gathering in Burdwan East district of the state, Mr. Nadda launched Kisan Suraksha Abhiyan and the door-to-door rice collection campaign. He said the campaign will be carried out till the 24th of this month and Krishak Bhoj will be arranged from the 24th to the 31st of January.
सुना है कि ममता जी ने प्रधानमंत्री जी को चिट्ठी लिखी है कि किसान सम्मान निधि में हम जुड़ना चाहते। ममता जी, अब जब हम कृषक सुरक्षा अभियान शुरू कर चुके हैं तो अब आपके चिट्ठी की जरूरत नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी और हम यहाँ प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि लगाएंगे। अब जब जमीन बंगाल की अपने नीचे से ममता जी की खिसक गई है तो अब उनको किसानों की याद आई।
Union Minister of State for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying and MSME, Pratap Chandra Sarangi, has said that the government aims to increase fish production in the country to 22 million tons by 2024-25. He was addressing the scientific community at ICAR-CIFA, Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture in Bhubaneswar today. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Addressing the gathering, the minister said the targeted fish production of 22 million tons is only the minimum and efforts should be made to maximize our production capacity. Calling upon all the stakeholders to be more and more vocal for the local, Mr. Sarangi said this will in turn contribute to the Prime Minister's vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, thereby improving the lives and livelihood of the fishing community of the country. In terms of increasing fish production, the Minister noted that since our marine production capacity has been saturated enough, focus now should shift to inland fishing, which has a much bigger scope of scale. Referring to the fish farmers as scientists in their own way and experience, the Minister called upon the scientific community present on the occasion to partner with the fish farmers to help enhance their income. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Indian Railways has started the new year with a landmark achievement by drastically enhancing the maximum speed to 130 km per hour in the Golden Quadrilateral Golden Diagonal route. The highest speed has been achieved for 1,280 km length out of 1,612 km. This covers the entire GQGD route over South Central Railway except Vijayawada-Duvara section where signalling upgradation work is in progress. The Ministry of Railways said that the enhanced speed limits could be achieved due to the systematic and planned strengthening of the tracks and its infrastructure by removing the bottlenecks in these sections at a fast pace. This included heavier rails, laying of 260 meters long welded rail panels, improvement of curves and gradients among others.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the National Youth Parliament Festival 2021 on Tuesday at 10 a.m. The festival is organized on the 12th of January on the occasion of the National Youth Day in order to encourage the youth in the age group of 18 to 25 years of age to engage with public issues and to understand the common man's point of view. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. This can be heard on the FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. President of Public Health Foundation of India, Dr. K. Srinath Reddy, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800 5767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. In cricket, Australia has taken an overall lead of 197 runs over India in the third day at Sydney. Australia were 103 for 2 when the stumps were drawn on the third day today. Earlier, resuming its first innings from the overnight score of 96 for 2, the visitors were dismissed for 244. Patrick Cummins took 4 wickets and Josh Hazlewood scalped 2 and Cheteshwar Pujara scored one of the slowest half-centuries for India. The hosts were all out for 338 in the first innings.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital will have shallow fog. The temperature will hover between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature will be around 21 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected at around 30 degrees. In Chennai, a thunderstorm with rain is expected. The temperature will vary between 23 and 27 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be fog in the morning and mainly cloudy sky later. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 19 and a maximum of 30. Srinagar will have a generally cloudy sky and the temperature will hover between -4 and 9 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the minimum temperature will be around 7 degrees and maximum 18. Leh will have a clear sky with a minimum at -12 and maximum at -2 degrees. In Gilgit, the sky will be generally cloudy and the temperature will hover between -3 and 9 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky and the temperature will hover between 2 and 16 degrees Celsius. Dehradun is likely to have a minimum temperature of around 7 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 25. The city will have a clear sky. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky and the temperature is likely to hover between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius. And in Guwahati, fog may occur in early morning. Minimum temperature will be around 13 and maximum 26 degrees Celsius. In Manipur, the Cherry Blossom Mao Festival was held today at Senapati district, marking the beginning of the pink season in the district. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh graced the function virtually. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive to begin from 16th January. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviews preparedness for vaccination. President Ramnath Kovind says development of 2 Indian COVID vaccines is a major achievement for Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Country's COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 96.41%. The passenger plane with over 50 people on board crashes soon after takeoff from Indonesian capital Jakarta. Indian sailors stuck on ship MV Jug Anand in China to return home on 14th January. And in cricket, Australia take lead of 197 runs against India in the Sydney Test. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.